Schools in Ondo State have resumed for 2022-2023 academic session with over 95% students turn out on the first day of resumption. In all the schools visited in Akure, the Ondo State capital, principals who applauded the impressive turnout of students said adequate measures have been put in place for the smooth running of the term. Ondo State government says it has extended registration for common entrance examination for public secondary schools and unity secondary schools by 1 week to allow for more students to register and participate. Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Mr. Femi Agagu, spoke during an inspection visit to some schools in Akure, the Ondo State capital, expressed satisfaction with the turnout of students and teachers for the third term 2022-2023 academic session, said government will continue to scale up efforts to improve on the quality of education in the state.
We are satisfied with the work the considered all the students are consumed. The teachers are already at their post. You can see the students had gotten their loans. The place we went before, we see that the environment has already been cleaned up. So we are satisfied with what. So we have been doing our best to supervise the schools. How we go our short programs regularly to monitor the schools, and from time to time we even call the principals together to have discussions with them. So we have zonal offices. They also visit the schools regularly. So we continue to do the things we are doing and ensure that the system is functioning well.
According to him, government will continue to encourage relevant stakeholders in the state to contribute to the Education Endowment Fund introduced to boost educational standard in the state. He charged teachers to be alive to their responsibility by engaging students for academic excellence. Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has assured workers in the state of more dividends of good governance through improved conditions of service. The governor, who served at the 2023 Workers' Day celebration held at the Gani Fawayemi Freedom Arcade Ground, Akure, reaffirmed his administration's commitment to a conducive work environment. Government House correspondent Timilayin Falade reports that the event has as its theme workers' rights and socio-economic justice.
International Workers' Day is commemorated every 1st of May in celebration of workers in Nigeria among over 80 other countries of the world. At the 2023 edition of the celebration, Ondo State workers gathered at the Gani Fawayemi Freedom Arcade in colorful uniforms in celebration of the day. Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu commended workers for their resilience and diligence, which has culminated in a progressive state. Governor Akeredolu, represented by his Special Advisor on Union Matters and Special Duties, Dari Aragbaye, solicited for more support for the present administration for more dividends of good governance to be enjoyed.
I'm able to say that industrial harmony between labor unions and the state government in recent years is unequaled and has engendered industrial peace in our state. It is my hope that this relationship will continue to grow stronger, resulting in more positive accomplishments in the years ahead.
Aragbaye, who stated that government has put in place various workers-friendly programs, reassured the workers of a better deal.
Our administration not only believes in the welfare of workers, but has also demonstrated this abundantly and convincingly in many ways. It is worthy to state that our administration has extended the maternity leave for female public servants from 12 weeks to 24 weeks, also 2 weeks paternity leave for male officers has been introduced in the state. I therefore implore you to avail this government your continued loyalty and redouble the support we have enjoyed from you in the past couple of years.
Chairperson of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Victor Amoko, appreciated Governor Akeredolu for his genuine commitment to the welfare of workers through his various interventions and assured of workers' continued support. Goodwill messages were given by the State Head of Service, Ayode Ogundele, as well as some union executives.
The Nigerian Labour Congress applauds Ondo State government for her commitment and vision for Ondo State workers in paying salaries and as when due, regular promotion to workers and focus on unprecedented projects to improve the economy of the state.
We have the opinion that there is need for government to also, that is Ondo State government, to also replicate what the federal government has just done for workers by paying 40% allowance in the increase in the allowances of federal workers. So, in preparation for fuel subsidy removal.
Urge us all to begin to come to terms with the new normal and realities, which include digitalization of work processes, artificial intelligence, critical thinking, continuity in planning and personal safety and health, which are now paramount at workplace all over the globe.
High point of the event was March Parade by Workers' Union in Ondo State, which was inspected by the governor. The event also saw Governor Akeredolu being decorated as a most workers-friendly governor, following his immense contributions to the welfare of workers in Ondo State. There were also free medical checkup, cultural display, among others.
Meanwhile, civil and public servants have hailed the various welfare initiatives of the present administration in Ondo State. They said the strategies adopted by the state government to improve the welfare of workers bettered with the sustained industrial harmony and peace that has been engendered in the state. Omoriola Obeji has details.
Of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, so help me God.
On assumption of office as Ondo State Governor in 2017, Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu inherited a backlog of 7 months unpaid salaries, leave bonuses, among others. While the backlog of salaries were being addressed, then came the COVID-19 pandemic, which badly affected the productivity of the nation, not exempting Ondo State. Workers in the state were hit with these unforeseen circumstances as their salaries were being paid in percentages by the state government in agreement with labor leaders. Mr. Victor Amoko is the state chairman of Nigeria Labour Congress in Ondo State.
They have been putting life into our veins. They have been putting laugh into our mouth. They have been making us to smile on a daily basis. And that is what we are having now. In 2020, we are expecting majority of the governors around Nigeria, what they did was that they did not pay the minimum wage. But here, we pay the minimum wage and the size of the workers remain. Meanwhile, then, we map out a strategy of how do we go by this thing. Then we are looking at the end result. But today, all these things are stories because all those percentages have been paid, the raise salary have been paid.
Pensioners were also not left out as the administration of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu recently approved a 33% pay rise.
The implementation of the 33.4% salary harmonization was done by Akeredolu, and we want to say that Ondo State was the first state to implement it in Nigeria. And just recently, the consequential adjustment in our pensions have been implemented. And I want to tell you that as I am speaking, Ondo State is the first and the only state to have implemented it. So we have benefited very much from Akeredolu.
Other labor leaders testified to the benefits of the present administration.
Some governors have worked in this state and some members run into problems. Maybe because of their presentation, maybe during the newscasting and all those stuffs. But in this administration, there's nothing like that. There was relevant peace, and there is still peace.
To the state head of service, Kayode Ogundele, there has been an exponential growth in the civil service, especially in the areas of employment, regular promotion of deserving officers with financial benefits, training and retraining of workers, and approval of health insurance scheme oranges that provide unhindered access to quality healthcare services.
Within the last few months, I can remember in the Ministry of Infrastructure, we recruited some professionals, architects, engineers, quantity surveyors, different levels of professionals. We did that also for the Osrc, Ondo State Agric Entrepreneurship Agency. We also did in the Ondo State Health Emergency Agency, where some workers that have been, we call them contract or temporary staff, governor graciously approved that they should be brought into the system. So, and we also have the fire service that has been an issue for several years. The state government, through the approval of Mr. Governor, has also recruited officers at different levels to fill existing vacancies in the fire service.
According to him, 2 billion naira is being set aside annually to offset the gratuity of retired workers, including the accumulated terminal benefits of retired staff of the Hope newspaper, amounting to 55 million naira. Meanwhile, Special Advisor to Governor Akeredolu on junior matters, Dare Aragbaye, further pledged more robust relationship between the workforce and government to achieve the redeemed agenda of the government.
Despite the challenges of fund, despite coronavirus, despite economic challenges, they have ensured that the best that can happen to workers keep happening. And this is what they have saddled all of us, from the head of service to special advisor to permanent secretaries in charge, to ensure that whatever is due to workers is given to them without delay. It did not stop at that. It has also been stressing the need to accommodate pensioners.
2 years to the end of the present administration, workers seek more collaboration, pay rise to tackle the present soaring costs of living, and conducive environment to work for efficient service delivery. Omoniola Humbiji, Osrc News.
One of Nigeria's economy is undoubtedly in the contribution and output from the informal sector, with statistics showing that over 90% of employment is generated from the segments of the economy. In this report, as the world celebrates Workers' Day, Osrc Said Aribisala extols the role of the informal sector.
International Labour Organization, in one of its reports, says there are 2 billion people across the world working in the informal economy. These workers, mostly in developing countries, do not have any social protection, decent working condition, and different rights at work.
A 2018 report by the International Labour Organization estimates that 93% of Nigeria's employment is in the informal sector. May the 1st of every year is a day set aside to celebrate workers, referred to as Workers' Day or perhaps Labour Day. But how well does the contribution of this sector fall under the spotlight?
It is easy to notice street traders, artisans, vendors, micro businesses, commercial buses, tricycles and motorbikes, domestic workers, market traders, among others, all operating informally.
I've been working but I based on my own hard work, because I know the government workers, I know collect salary, na my own work. You
think say the celebration, the May Day, not to concern you?
Not to concern me, because I don't see anything that are benefited there.
Àjáde àwọn tó ṣe workers kò sí wọ́n ṣe máa lọ tó iṣẹ́ ọ̀kadà làwọn á ṣe, so nǹkan tó fi kàn wá nìyẹn. Nígbà yóò kàn ààrẹ pẹ̀tẹ́ báńkì ṣiṣẹ́ ìjọba kọ́ làwọn ṣiṣẹ́ ìjọba yẹn, so àlọ́ bí táwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba tó ń lọ àwọn máa lọ bẹ̀ mọ̀ kí ṣiṣẹ́ ìjọba kọ́ làwọn ṣe ọ̀kadà làwọn.
Èyí ni Workers' Day ìjọba ọkọ̀ mi náà wá pé àwọn aṣọ́gun ká tó jẹun náà ni.
Ìwà lé ní ṣùgbọ́n ìgboro gbẹ kò sówó. Ṣiṣẹ́ náà ní ṣùgbọ́n àwọn wọ̀nyẹn tán bá wá ṣiṣẹ́ nírú báǹkì báyìí, àwọn báǹkì máa bá wa ra nǹkan, àwọn míì kọjá wọn bá wa ra nǹkan, ilé wọn náà jòkó sílé ní òun ò jẹ́ kọjá àyá. Òṣìṣẹ́ tara mi lèmi, mi ń ṣe ti tara mi ni mo ń ṣe.
While the Road Transport Workers of Nigeria, NUPENG, Tricycle Riders Union, Union of Tipper and Quarry Employers of Nigeria, Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria registered their presence at the commemorative event for the Workers' Day celebration. Beyond the long speeches that characterize Workers' Day celebration, how does the activities rub off on operations in the informal economy?
If the salary of workers in Nigeria is buoyant, it will give us enough profit. So every one of the workers they will have the right to come to us and buy building material.
Stakeholders in the informal sector called on government across board to prioritize their involvement in shaping the nation's development.
We are partners in progress, and without transportation in any country, there will not be any development. That is the way I see it. In terms of assistance, like it is being done in every other state of the Federation. Other states of the Federation, the government used to assist them in their areas of operation. That is, giving them buses.
Whenever there is any increment in anything, the people that sell vegetable, pepper in the market, they will equally increase the prices of their commodities. No price control in this country. If government is able to put price control to things, I think Nigeria will be a better place for habitation for us. But
no doubt, deliberate effort must be made by enforcing the rights of workers and placing friendly policies to meet the increasing yearnings of players in the informal sector. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
Taking this again, school in Ondo State have resumed for 2022-2023 academic session with over 95% students turnout on the first day of resumption. In all the schools visited in Akure, the Ondo State capital, principals who applauded the impressive turnout of students said adequate measures have been put in place for the smooth running of the term. Omoriola Obeji has details.
Very early on Tuesday, 2nd of May, academic session resumed for third term 2022-2023 after 3 weeks of break to usher in the third term. It was an impressive turnout on the first day of resumption. Students are expected to go through the principal test established by the school authorities to refresh and assess the students. The first port of call was Oyemekun Grammar School, Akure, where the school principal Ogunleye Okewu addressed the students on their expectations for the third term. According to him, over 3,700 students turned up on the first day.
I've just told them third term is the summary of the whole section, and it's a examinations term. I've just told them this morning that Oyemekun without English and Maths, no promotion. Even if you have 9 credits, if English and Maths is not there, no promotion. And in SS1 you must have your core subjects. If you're in science class, you must have biology, chemistry, physics, Maths, and English.
Mrs. Omobolanle Ayintete of St. Louis Girls Grammar School, Akure, said the school is prepared to break more records. According to her, 3 of their students who had traveled to United States of America to represent the country in an academic competition are back in school.
On Thursdays, we usually meet, the teachers and the management. That is where we start from. We prepare. If you move around now, the lesson notes of the teachers, everything, they are ready. And it was on that Thursday that they submitted their questions for principals and tests. And the students on their own side, they have printed their results. They have collected their results. So some of them, they already are aware of where they belong. So definitely most of them, you move around, you see most of them in the classes. They have started the principal's test already.
At the United CAC Grammar School, OSRC's camera lens caught the school principal, Mrs. Grace Adewumi, meeting with the school teachers on the best way to improve on the school's record.
The season we are now is rainy season, so by the time we got to the school this morning, the whole thing was bushy, but by the grace of God and with the efforts of God and the students, we have been able to cut down some gases. We're getting ready. Some class teachers have gone to their various classes to see to the classes so that the sitting arrangements will be properly done. The classes will be neat. By tomorrow, we will start the principal's test and all other things will follow.
Principal of Aquinas College, Adebisi Jimbola, on his own part, informed that proper arrangements have been made to ensure smooth running of the term, as classes were already treated for convenience of the students.
Sprayed all the grasses with herbicides. Aside that, on Thursday last week, we had our statutory meeting where almost all the teachers were present, and we rolled out what we are going to do this time. Of course, they know, they are experienced teachers, but we still have to tell them that these are the things that are expected of them.
All the school heads promised accelerated progress and improved performance of both staff and students in the 2022-2023 academic session in line with government's goals. Omoriola Mbiji, Osrc News.
Shown on commencement of pre-hearing conference of the National and State House of Assembly Election Petition Tribunal for Ondo State holds on Thursday, 4th of May 2023. A statement by the Secretary, National and State Houses of Assembly Election Petitions Tribunal for Ondo State, Mr. Musa Adamu, said the venue of the tribunal is Court Number 2 of the Ondo State High Court Complex, Akure. Time of the sitting is 9 in the morning. For his decades of contribution to media practice and development in Nigeria, Sunshine Standard Magazine has honored a member of the OSRC Media Group Management Committee, Sir Steve Alabi, as outstanding media role model in Ondo State. Sir Steve Alabi, an accomplished broadcaster, veteran journalist and sports administrator, is a man of many firsts in the media, where his contributions have impacted development of society. OSRC Zaid Arabisala reports that family and friends joined their iconic honoree in receiving the recognition.
The annual public lecture and awards organized by Sunshine Standard Magazine held in Akure is a convergence point for dignitaries within and outside Ondo State.
You have the right to put government on its toes.
Moving Nigeria forward, the imperative of accountability and transparency in governance is one of the points for discussion at the event. Honoring individuals who have made positive impact in Ondo State and beyond for Nigeria's development was also at center stage, with one of those on the podium, a veteran journalist and member management committee of OSRC Media Group.
Barrister Steve Alabi, highly professional, impartial and apolitical.
From being a news reporter to becoming a producer and sports editor, Sir Steve Alabi's journey in the media industry is laden with many achievements. His decades of practice has seen him perform critical roles within the Nigeria Television Authority, Ondo State Media Outfits, Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, the Nigeria Football Federation, among others.
I had the dream of being a journalist right from primary five. And the first program I watched on television was Sports Galore, which was anchored by my boss later in my employment as a journalist with the Nigerian Television Authority. That's Mr. Fabio Lanikwekun. And I just continued to work on it, and God intervened, and I became a journalist. We learned from the masters, from people like Yinka Craig, from Oga Fabio Lanikwekun. The day I was called to go to Mexico '86 for the World Cup, I mean, here was I doing my job. I didn't know that it was being noticed. I was just doing my job. And that was a year, less than a year after I co-produced National Sports Festival, which was the biggest sports event in Nigeria at that time. If you produced it, you were made. So I was shocked when the message came that I should join the Mexico '86 crew. Eventually, I didn't go. But the following year, I went for Chile '87. And that was the first time a journalist from Ondo State will go out to report from outside. You went for training. Training is different from working on an assignment outside. And here, was I talking and running commentaries right from the World Cup. To experience the World Cup in its totality was a great experience for me.
For these contributions, the spotlight is again falling on the iconic media administrator and legal practitioner, as Sunshine Standard Magazine awards him Outstanding Media Role Model in Ondo State.
My candid advice is that you must report. You must report. That is what makes you a journalist. If you just sit there and they are copying other people's works, it does not make you a journalist. You are just a copycat.
An honor that is well deserved. If you sit by him watching TV or listening to a newspaper review or even reading a newspaper, he is quick to point out either the excellence of that job or the faults.
If I'm on the hot seat anyway and I don't know some things, I will have to call him because he will tell you the analysis, the dates, the time and everything. So he's like a go-to man for me, even though he's my father-in-law.
Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who was represented by Commissioner for Information and Orientation Bamidele Ademola Olateju and the publisher Sunshine Standard Magazine Daisy Aditarabi, said the agenda-setting role of the media remain a priority that must be sustained.
Arákùnrin Oluwarotimi Odoayo Akeredolu SANCON is very appreciative of what the media is doing in Ondo State. Number one, they have been very supportive of our programs, of our activities in the state, and they have been projecting us to the world.
Go the whole log of celebrating the people of Ondo State from time to time, which we do every year. And this is one of such occasions. And everybody is happy.
Some of the awardees, drawn from the public and private sector of the state economy, expressed gratitude for the recognition of their contribution to societal development.
It tells me that even when you are in your little corner, working quietly, as long as you are doing your best, sooner or later you are bound to be seen and recognized.
But that tells us that we have to do more. We are not to relax on our efforts. We are to continue to do more to contribute to humanity and to the society.
Sir Steve Alabi is one-time National President, Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, member of Presidential Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution, Chairman, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations Ondo State Chapter, among others. Sahid Aribisala, OSRC News.
Congratulations to our own Sir Steve Alabi. And with that report, we have come to the end of Sunshine Reports this afternoon. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.